This is lecture notes for Chapter 3. Chapter 3 will cover text topic, which is the basic element in multimedia processing. Text is the basic way to convey information and to communicate with others. Out of all multimedia elements, the text is the easiest to manipulate, such as to express your emotions, stressing out important information, and it can be edited to represent the different context in your presentation. For example, multimedia products depend on a text in order to explain how the application works, to guide the user in navigating throughout the application, and also to deliver the information for which the application was designed. Typography is the art of arranging letters and text in a way that makes the copy legible, clear, and visually appealing to the reader. Typography involves font style, appearance, and structure, which aims to elicit certain emotions and convey specific messages. Choosing the best typography is very important when creating any multimedia product because of the following reasons. To attract the reader interest by selecting the correct fonts, to ease user readability, the correct choice of color, font, and text size can prove to be vital for attracting your target audience. Secondly, to hold audience attention. It's easy to attract the readers using typography, but holding their attention requires more creativity. You can work on creating some interest within the content by highlighting texts that are captivating, make them look attractive, and may use some attractive graphics. Thirdly, to convey a certain mood or feelings, such as an advertisement or a computer game. It might contain some exciting features of the game. In such case, you should design the content that is fun, playful, and glamorous. If your content requires some seriousness, you should choose fonts that are simple, plain, and professional. The choice of such typeface determines how the content is understood. Next, typography used to establishes an information hierarchy, which means categorizing the texts inside a content according to their importance. You can use different font types and sizes to differentiate the texts that are most important. You can highlight important topics by using bigger font sizes. This will help the audience to easily determine the information that they should pay more attention to. To create harmony by repeating the same pattern throughout your presentation. Harmony is the leading feature in typography design. The harmonic design provides an artistic effect to your website. Using the same font for similar contents provides continuity. The alignment of fonts with correct proportion organizes your presentation and makes it uncluttered. Next, the correct addition of typography in a design project reflects great professionalism. Appropriate use of text, font, and size gains the trust of customers. This will add benefit to the marketing of your product if your website is based on business. The professional approach of design includes typography at its core. Typography defines the importance of the content you provide, and customer feels secure regarding the information they gain. Finally, typography can also use to create branding and recognition, such as creating logos for your company will add a great value to your company brand. The audience always remembers the fonts that you use in presenting the visuals. Typography specializes your company and it works as an identification for the viewers. With the help of typography, each of your content gains your company's presence. Let's take a break, check out these slides. There is an example of a bad website and a good website layout. Write down your comment in the comment section below. I will take this comment as response feedback for online learning and also your attendance record. Well, next, look at the differences between a typeface and font. A typeface is a family of graphic characters including many type sizes and styles such as Times New Roman, Courier, or Arial typefaces. A font is a collection of characters of a single size and style which belong to a typeface family, such as the sizes in points, styles like bold, italic, or underline. So, we conclude that Times is a typeface while Times 12 points italic is a font. In typography, A measure of the height of the characters of a font, measured in points. Cap height is the height of a capital letter above the baseline for a particular typeface. It specifically is the height of capital letters that are flat. The X height refers to the distance between the baseline and the mean line in a typeface. Ascender is a part of a letter that extends above the level of the top of an X height such as H and K. While descender is a part of a letter that extends below the level of the top of an X height such as P and Q. P height is used to define how ascender letter are compared to descender letters. Serif is the little extra stroke found at the end of main vertical and horizontal strokes of some letter forms. A serif is a decorative stroke that finishes off the end of a letter's stem, sometimes also called the feet of the letters. In turn, a serif font is a font that has serifs, while a sans serif is a font that does not serifs. Popular serif fonts include Times Roman, Courier, New Century Schoolbook, and Bookman. Sans serif fonts include Comic Sans, Arial, Impact, and Tahoma. Serifs fonts create the illusion of a line and guide the eye across the screen, hence facilitating readability. Serifs normally used on large blocks of text and best used for body text. While sans serifs fonts are clean and simple. Therefore sans serifs fonts are best used for headings and title of the article. Serifs and sans serif fonts serve different purpose and also appear in different multimedia product. For instance, serif fonts is more suitable for printed materials such as card and newspapers. The tail part or serif fonts help to guide the reader's eyes along the line of text. While sans serif fonts is more suitable for non-printable media. As in computer screen, sans serif is a little more legible, especially in smaller sizes, hence don't provide as much resolution as print. Let's see the difference of typography context in online website and newspaper article. The newspapers use justified text as they have multiple columns side by side, so the justification works as a line separator. The majority of web content, text, is not placed inside small columns. We just have the standard long lines and people are very well used to it. On the other hand, newspapers cannot use long lines because it will be difficult for people to keep track of the line they have to read next, which will create discomfort. That's why many newspapers or magazines use the small columned layout for text, so everything remains in the view and the user doesn't lose the track. Newspapers have short lines because you often read them in bad environment like shaky trains, while walking and so on. Short lines make it easier to switch to the next line correctly without skipping lines or rereading them. Font type styles represent different purpose. For example, bold type for your headlines, italic font for bilingual text or hyperlinks, and underline text for headings. Each style's used to emphasize important points in your text. Text can be written in 4 basic alignment to describe how text is placed on the screen, which is justify, align left, align right, or center. Have you ever come across the terms kerning and leading in typography, but haven't been able to pinpoint exactly what they are? Letter and line spacing are fundamental tools for anyone working with text in a design. Leading is a typography term that describes the vertical spacing between lines of contiguous text. This term came from the days of typesetting when individual pieces of lead were inserted between text blocks to increase the vertical distance between lines. Kerning refers to the space between 2 letters or characters. There are extremes to kerning. Letters can be too far apart or too close together. This is a sample for bad leading, which can impact the readability and legibility of type. Big gaps between lines of text can make reading more difficult and disrupt the reader's flow, so don't go too crazy with leading. Leading refers to the spacing between baselines, which often needs to be changed so ascenders and descenders don't overlap. This example shows kerning problem where this sample shows that the letters are disproportionately spaced out. These common settings, though, do not accommodate the space that is formed when particular letters combine, so kerning can become camming. The goal is to have proportional spacing between characters and pay special attention to serifs, flourishes, and angular letters like A, W, or V to achieve a consistent appearance. Kerning is usually reserved for medium to larger text and headlines, as those letters are more noticeable when the spacing is out of balance. Sometimes, bad kerning can give good and bad impact to the multimedia producer. Tight kerning between letters can however be used to great effect in logotypes. Such as this Federal Express logo represent good branding with a bad kerning. But, it happen usually that bad kerning give bad impact such as these examples shown in this figure. I guess you can read on your own. So, how to make your text readable? Maintain consistency and limit to 1 up to 4 variations of font style and sizes. Avoid decorative fonts where less is more. Select suitable contrast effect by choosing different colors for text and background. Use ample leading to ease readability. In print design, standard leading is 120% the point size of the font, which is 10-point type or 12-point leading, 12-point type or 14.4-point leading. In web design, a good line height is also about 120%. In both print and web design, this percentage can vary slightly based on the typeface used depending on the X heights, ascenders and descenders of each letter form. Kerning is the process of adjusting the space between individual characters. The goal of kerning is to achieve more balanced type, equalizing the appearance of white space between characters. This is especially important in headers and large type. While not as important in paragraphs of small type, kerning can be quite functional when you're attempting to avoid line breaks in your design. As a conclusion, text element in multimedia will have its pros and cons. Text is relatively low cost to produce, it presents abstract ideas effectively. Text can easily used to clarify things and easily changed or updated. However, text may have its limitation in terms of less memorable than other visual media. I believe that you guys still can remember the bad kerning samples rather than other important point in this slides. It shows that text requires more attention from the user than other multimedia elements. That's all for this chapter. We will see you again in the next chapter. Thank you, class. Don't forget to leave comment in the comment section below.